Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Draft Countdown Mock Draft Simulator Series. Today, we're going to look at the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings have, made some moves, and what anticipates is going to be a packaging of picks to move up for a quarterback. So we'll see if they're able to get up into that top 3, maybe even top 5 area to get one of these passers. They made a trade with the Houston Texans, acquired the 23rd pick of the draft, gave up their second round pick. So Minnesota has picks 11 and pick 23. They don't pick again until the 4th round. For the sake of this simulator, we're not going to move up, and we're going to hope one of the quarterbacks falls to us here because, obviously we can't go into the season with Sam Darnold as the starting quarterback. So with that being said, let's get to simulating. So unfortunately for us, it did not pay off, and none of the top 4 quarterbacks fell to the 11th pick. So we're still going to attack that quarterback spot here, and we're going to add a 5th quarterback to the 1st round, and we're going to go with Oregon's Bo Nix to be the new starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. We're back here at pick 23, and ideally we would have liked to have replaced Danielle Hunter and pair somebody with the unrestricted free agent Jonathan Grenard we signed as a pass rusher in free agency. But unfortunately, the board did not work out here. I feel like this is Darius Robinson's not exactly a one-for-one trade-off there, and I think this might be a little too early for Chris Braswell. So we're going to pass on the edge position. We're going to come back and look at corner now. This is another position of need. We need somebody to start opposite of Byron Murphy. We're going to try to replace a Caleb Evans here at the other cornerback spot, and Nate Wiggins, the fast athletic corner from Clemson, on the board at pick 23. So that's going to be the selection here. We had to wait a little while, but the Vikings are back on the clock in the 4th round at pick 108, and sitting on the board here, we pass on edge at 23. Jonah Ellis, highly productive pass rusher out of Utah, still on the board at pick 108 here. That's going to be the play. I think we're going to get some depth at the defensive end position when take a high upside guy here who has a chance to get a lot better going forward. That's the play here is Jonah Ellis, the edge rusher from Utah. Vikings back on the clock again here in the 4th round, this time at pick 129. Going to attempt to address some depth on the defensive line, and in particular at the nose tackle position where we currently have Harrison Phillips, veteran player there. So we're going to look maybe to get a guy here to fill in the rotation as a rookie, with maybe an eye starting down the road, and that's a former 5-star player coming out of high school at Texas A&M out of Lucedale, Mississippi. That's McKinley Jackson from Texas A&M, and that's going to be the pick at 129. On the clock and pick 157 in the 5th round, and we're going to look to add a little depth here to the interior offensive line, and we're going to look no further than the most athletic interior offensive lineman in this draft class. That is Brandon Coleman from TCU. Has ability to play all across the offensive line in a reserve function, but has starter upside at the guard position. So that is going to be the pick here in the 5th round, Brandon Coleman from TCU. Back here in the 5th round at pick 167, I should say. So a second 5th round pick for the Vikings, and we need some depth at wide receiver. We've got starters here in Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. The depth a little bit lacking. So let's go with another swing here at a high upside athlete, guy who's formerly a quarterback at Nebraska. Really took off this season at Rice as a wide receiver and had a great week at the Senior Bowl. So 167, good value here for Luke McCaffrey, brother of Christian McCaffrey, out of Rice. Back now here in the 6th round at pick 177. Need a little depth at the tight end position. We got a great one at the starting lineup, TJ Hawkinson. But behind him, we've got Josh Oliver, formerly of Baltimore, Johnny Munt, and Nick Muse, 2022 7th round pick. Think we can do better there, but I'm going to focus on more of a blocker here. And we've got the receiver in Hawkinson, but we need a guy who can be that solid number 2, can help out in the run game, and I think that is A.J. Barner from Michigan. Play a good blocking tight end, limited as a receiver, to put it nicely. On the board here in the 7th round, and we've got 2 picks coming up here at pick 230 and pick 232. So I feel like we still need to attack the running back position and maybe get us a reserve, a backup offensive tackle, guy who can push to make the roster at the gate. So look at the running backs here. A couple of names on the board. Dylan Lobby from New Hampshire, I don't think will be available in the 7th round. I think he's going to get much higher than that. So we're going to kind of ignore him still being there. But who will be there, I believe, is Dejon Edwards from Georgia, who I think has better potential than what his athletic testing has shown here, which is probably why he would be available in the 7th round. You know what? We're going to skip past that because it's a guy I just want to talk about and I want to bring up here. Frank Gore Jr. out of Southern Miss had one of the most electric games I've ever seen in my life. Saw in person him break the single game bowl rushing record. And I think he's going to run fast whenever he tests at the Southern Miss Pro Day. And he's going to be just fine. He's not a starter, but definitely I think can help out in a reserve capacity. So let's skip some of these other names, and we're going to draft Frank Gore Jr. from Southern Miss at pick 230. But pick 232, we're going to come back with an offensive lineman, and we're going to, like I said, this is a pure depth draft pick here, and I liked him at Stanford. He had a good season at Oklahoma. The pick here at 232 as a reserve offensive lineman with a chance to make this roster is going to be Walter Rouse from Oklahoma. Like I said, I don't feel like this is realistic because I think the Vikings made the trade to get the extra first-round pick to go up further in the first round to get a quarterback. But if for some reason their offers get rejected and they stand pat with what they have, then you could see them going with Bo Nix or Michael Penix at the 11th spot. We came back, got Nate Wiggins, and we didn't pick again until the 4th round, where you see we got Jonah Ellis, the pass rusher from Utah, McKinley Jackson, the interior defensive line from Texas A&M, Brandon Coleman, Luke McCaffrey. I feel like we added some solid depth pieces here for the Vikings, but again, I think they're going to try to hit the home run at the quarterback position with this draft. What did you think, Vikings fans, Skol and all that? What did you think of this draft? If this is the way it shakes out for the Vikings, let us know in the comments, and we always like to hear the feedback. If you came across this and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. We've got several of these mock draft simulator videos will be already up, and will be up between now and the draft. And also we do a live, we've got a couple of live mock drafts coming up on the Draft Countdown podcast that you can check out as well. So all that being said, go to draftcountdown.com for this content and much more. Thanks for watching, everybody.